Hello and welcome to Talking Good Games match preview. West Ham United against Backa Topola. The top of this Serbian league, the Europa League, is back. Gonzo, you excited?
I am excited, actually. Yeah, looking forward to it. It's quite nice, actually, when you lose a game. I'd forgotten, actually. It's quite nice when you lose a game in the Premier League to have the European Football League. It allows you to sort of a little bit of therapy, isn't it, straight away after, so you can sort of get that out of the system. And I guess quite nice to have a European game sandwiched in between, games against two of the better Premier League teams as well. So, yeah, very much looking forward to it because I think we might see, I'm sure we'll see a start for at least one player who we've not seen start yet for West Ham. And I think we'll certainly see some others feature.
I'm really excited. I've absolutely loved the last 2 years of being in European football. I'm looking forward to this campaign. I hope we can qualify for next season as well. I've got used to it now. I've got used to Thursday night football, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Like you said, even after a win, to be fair, even if we were to win a Premier League game pretty quickly, come Monday, I'm already looking forward to Thursday night again, regardless of who we're playing. It gives me hope of winning silverware. Obviously, we won last season, which was brilliant, but this season we've got another competition where. Are we one of the favourites this year? No. Did I expect to win the Conference League? Yes. Do I expect to win the Europa League? No. But in a weird way, I quite like that a little bit because last season there was that element of pressure on West Ham and probably Fiorentina as well, which is what are you going to do? Let's see what you've got. You're expected to win every game in this competition. I think that's not here anymore. And if we go back to the season before that one, when we got to the semi-final Europa League, we're back to that a little bit. But we've now got a little bit of European credibility about us, actually. When we first rocked up in the Europa League, it was, let's see what West Ham can do now. It's a case of actually we know what West Ham can do. Semi-finalists, winners, we know. We've got pedigree now. So we're not necessarily one of the favourites because of the likes of Liverpool being in this competition, but I think the pressure's off us a little bit more, and I think we might relish that. But saying that, what's your hopes for this European campaign?
Well, it was just interesting listening to what you were saying there because I do think the pressure is off us a bit. And I think we've been ridiculously, I don't mean written off because I don't think I don't want to overplay it because I've not heard anyone say West Ham can't win this. And I'm aware that you spoke to Tony yesterday on the video and he referred to the semi-final before. However, when I hear most commentators and most pundits talk about West Ham in Europe this season, they seem to have forgotten the semi-final. So they seem to be talking about the victory in the Conference League, and I say, this will be a step up for West Ham. So it's almost like, the year before that has been expunged from their memory. And that's fine. If you're commentating on 20 different Premier League teams, you're not going to remember everything about everyone. I keep hearing it. They're going to find it more difficult. This is more difficult from the Conference League, as if that's all we've ever done is the Conference League. And then they say, then you've got the teams dropping down from the Champions League. Well, of course, I know that, and we know that, but we've been here before. And I think, not for West Ham fans, but I think in terms of the outsiders, if you want, the games against Sevilla, against Olympique Lyonnais, have disappeared from the memory somewhat. And I even think the fact that we reached the semi-final has disappeared from the memory as well. So there's no way we're favourites for this competition. But we have a decent chance of winning this. There's no doubt about that. And I do feel that people have forgotten about us. And I'm not, that's fine, by the way. That's fine. I don't mind that at all. But yeah, I think TalkSport and Sky Sports have, we're not really being factored in for this. And I think we might do better than some people think.
I think the 2 years of experience in European football will help the players that are still with us, actually. I felt that last season, actually. I think that Europa League campaign helped us in the Conference League because I felt that how we handled the group in the knockout and even the final, I thought we were very sort of professional the way we went about it. And it was quite a comfortable campaign for us. And it should have been. We were better than all the team. Fiorentina was the only one I thought was a fair match in terms of ability. But prior to that, we turned up and got the job done. And that is a sign of a good team, a team that can turn up and actually be better than the opposition because they are better. It's not always the easiest thing to do in the world. Otherwise, you would know who the winners of the Champions League are before balls even kick. You say, well, they've got the best squad. They should go and win it. It very rarely happens. So I think with 2 years experience under our belt now, winning that trophy as well. So now we've got that experience and mentality about us. I think we might be even better prepared for this one in terms of our campaign than we were the previous two. So I'm really looking forward to this. But I'll be honest with you, Gonzo, as long as we don't finish bottom of the group, I think I'm okay with it. I'd rather advance in the Europa League, of course I would. But if worst case scenario, we were to finish third and drop into the Conference League, I think I'm okay with it. I'd get excited. I'd be disappointed. There would be an element of disappointment, but very quickly, as soon as that knockouts came back around, I think, here we go. Then we're now in the competition where we are now favourites to go on and win this. And I think I'd get excited again. So yeah, as long as we don't finish bottom, I think I'm okay.
Which we won't.
No, I don't think so. I think we're ready to play the team that's going to finish bottom. We'll get on to that. Just a quick reminder of the rules. In the group stages, should West Ham finish top of the group, they will advance to the last 16 of the Europa League. Should they finish second, they go into the playoff round where they will face a team that finished third in their Champions League group stage. Should West Ham finish third in this group, we drop down to the Conference League and play a team that finished second in their Conference League group stage. So a little bit complicated, but it's pretty straightforward. And should we finish fourth, the last spot in the group, we're out. There's no playoffs. There's nothing. You're out. As simple as that. So 75% of the teams in group stages will advance to the next round.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
So there you go. That's the makeup of the group stage. West Ham's first fixture is, of course, this Thursday at the London Stadium as we take on Serbian league leaders, Backa Topola. Do you know much about them, Gonzo?
Well, I know that actually they like to be called TSC. So yes. I think that's what people call them. So I wouldn't worry too much about learning the name there. I don't know anything about them at all. Clearly, I've gone and had a look at the squad. Like anyone else, I've gone and had a brief look at them on Wikipedia and things like that. And you peruse the squads, thinking, oh, is there anybody I recognise? There's not. There was one I thought, oh, Jovanovic, I know him. Actually, I don't at all. I'm thinking of a player that was probably around 20 years ago. So, and unless there's been some miracle, or it's actually Peter Pan, he's been drinking from the fountain of eternal youth, it's probably not the same bloke. So, I don't know any of their players.
Right, let's give a little bit of context then. Like Gonzo, I know nothing about them, so I've kind of had a little look, and we're here to give you a little bit of background on them so you don't need to go looking for yourself. As I said, they're top of the Serbian league at the minute. They've played 7 games, won 6, drawn 1, scoring 18. However, a little bit of context in regards to that. They are yet to play the bigger sides like Red Star Belgrade. All the teams they've played thus far in the league are currently in the bottom half of the league table. So that probably puts a little bit of context as to why they're top of the league. They were in the Champions League qualifiers this season where they were beaten 7-1 on aggregate by Sporting Braga. Now, to put a little bit of context in regards to Sporting Braga, last season, Fiorentina beat Sporting Braga in the Conference League 7-2 on aggregate. So maybe that gives you who we beat in the final. Beat Sporting Braga, who've just gone and smashed the team we're on Thursday 7-1. So that perhaps gives a little bit of context as to how good this team is. Anyway, shall we leave it there about the Serbian team?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm like you. I looked at their squad, don't recognise anyone. Their top scorer's got 3 goals this season. And a lot of their wins in the league were 1-0, although they're playing the size bottom of the table. But they scored 6 at the weekend, so perhaps they're coming to London with a little bit of swagger, a bit of confidence. But I do feel there's context in regards to those wins. West Ham team news then. In regards to injuries, there isn't really anything to speak of. However, suspensions, and this is perhaps something interesting that's I'm not really seen mentioned anywhere. Edson Alvarez is suspended. He was sent off for Ajax last season when Ajax were beaten 3-1 by Union Berlin and eliminated from the Champions League. So he got sent off in his last European game for playing for Ajax. So he's actually suspended for this fixture. There's a good chance David Moyes wouldn't have played him anyway, but he can't play. In regards to the squad, you all know the UEFA squad now. Go have a look if you wish. It's at UEFA.com. You can go have a look. We've got 24 players available, the senior players. We've also got the youngsters. However, the youngsters have to be A, under 21 years old, and B, have been at West Ham United for 3 years or more. So this eliminates the likes of Callum Marshall and Patrick Kelly. They have not been at West Ham long enough in order to qualify for that list. So we can't use those players. However, the likes of George Earthy, Ollie Scarles, and of course Mubama are eligible for West Ham in the group stage. So with all that in mind, Gonzo, it's time to discuss the teams we would like to see. Would you like to kick it off with your goalkeeper?
Yeah, I'll go with Fabianski for this. I think it's only fair and right. If there's been a reversal of roles, then I think he takes this one on. So particularly in the group stages, not a problem with that at all. So yeah, I'd certainly start with Fabianski.
Completely agree. Now, moving into defence, this is where I say we're starting to see changes. We've already discussed one. We're one player in and one changing. And Moyes has got an interesting decision to make, I think, with a lot of these players as to how much he rotates. Because in theory, he could rotate all 11, but I'm not sure I personally want to see that, Gonzo. So take me through how you would like to see the defence line up.
Well, I'm not rotating all 11. I think David Moyes will keep it sensible, but there are players that we need to see and players that need some game time. And we're not, I think it's probably wise to make the point we're dropping in internationals here. This is not someone we've signed from League Two or Accrington Stanley. Accrington Stanley might be in League Two, don't know. And we probably haven't signed anyone from Accrington Stanley, nor will we. But so I'll be going with Teo Kehrer at right back. I'll be going with Mavropanos as the right centre half. Angelo Ogbonna next to him, and Emerson at left back.
No Aaron Cresswell.
No Aaron Cresswell, no. I do want to sort of make the point. I think we're so early in the season, these players can handle 2 games a week. And I will certainly be playing a little spoiler ahead of... We're playing Lincoln, aren't we? We're playing Lincoln? Cresswell gets in for Lincoln, all right? But at the moment, these players can handle 2 games a week. So it's not change for change's sake. I think we need to see Kehrer. He needs to start. We need to see Mavropanos. And I also think that a Gerd is fine to take him out of there for this one. So I think Ogbonna's played a game and a bit for us this season already in the Premier League, and I think he looked good. So I think he deserves it. So, and I think you've got the left footer and the right footer there. That's my thinking. But I don't want to change the whole back for Emerson. Emerson is a standard above at the moment in terms of left back. So I just really want to play him there.
Interested. I mean, I get your point. I do get your point. I can't really say I'd completely disagree, but my back four is slightly different. Soufal at right back with Mavropanos and Ogbonna centre back, and then Aaron Cresswell at left back. So for similar reasons, in some ways, I'm keeping Soufal at right back, whereas you're keeping Emerson at left back. I think Cresswell, we need to see him, and I would also play him against Lincoln as well. We need to have a look at him, evaluate him, because while he wanted out, maybe we want him out in January, maybe the group stage we think, actually, you're not up to it anymore. But I do actually think he had a good campaign last season. I think we just haven't seen him yet because of what was going on, and Emerson's been in great form, as you've said. So, but this is why we've got a squad. So, yeah, that's the back four I'd like to see. Moving into midfield then, who are you fancying?
I will play Souček next to Ward-Prowse in central midfield, given that. But I've got to say, I possibly would have done that anyway with, whatever it was, fatigue, calves, whatever. I don't know. A little bit of cramp, whatever it might have been with Alvarez. So I think that's absolutely fine. I'd probably play those 2 in there. I'm not ready to start. I think his time will hopefully come this season. Maybe we might see Orford in there or someone else in there, but now's not the time. I don't want to pair 4 nows in central midfield next to Ward-Prowse. So I think I'll go with Ward-Prowse and Souček as the 2 sort of very central midfielders for this one. Are you going to have a number 10 then? I am going to have a number 10, and the number 10 will be 4 nows. Yeah,
needs a chance.
Maybe he needs a chance. Maybe not. I think he'll do a job. I think that's the point. I think he'll thrive in that position, and I think he's got enough legs to get back and help the other 2 out as well. And I think he's probably got enough quality about him to get up and support the attack as well. So I think I think it's the sensible thing to do.
I've gone with Teo Kehrer in defensive midfield. I think I want to see Moyes has brought him in a couple of games in that sort of role, which would suggest maybe Moyes is interested in him. I think defensively, I don't want to see him at right back. I get why you've done it. With the greatest of respect, the opposition we're playing, he should be fine there. However, with longevity in mind, I don't want to see him at right back in the Premier League. I don't. I think he's a brilliant centre back for us, but in terms of right back, I still think he's a nightmare. I've got no evidence yet to change my mind. Is actually he can play there. But so defensive midfield, I think we need something. If Alvarez is unavailable, what are we going to do? And I think Kehrer might be one of those players that could actually do that job. And I think this is an easy fixture to put him in and have a little look at him and see if there's enough promise to continue using him there in European games, for example, because I think he's too good to not use at all. And you clearly think the same, hence why you put him in at right back, where Mavropanos and Ogbonna are the natural replacements, if you like, for Zuma and Aguerd. So Kerr's too good to be fifth choice centre back. He is. So there's got to be somewhere for him. So maybe in defensive midfield. I would play James Ward-Prowse as well, because I think we need to carry that threat from set pieces. We need to win this game. This is an important fixture. I think on paper, 100%. This is our easiest fixture of the group stage. We need to get off to a winning start. So Ward-Prowse in there, and I'd have Kudus in this sort of Paqueta role. Let's put him in there and say, come on then, let's see what you got. Right in the middle of the pitch. Let's see it. You become the main man for West Ham on Thursday night. Here's your opportunity. Give me something to think about to start you at Anfield on Sunday night. So I'd put Kudus in there. Your front three, please, my friend.
Paqueta or Paqueta, both of them on the left. Kudus on the right, and Mubama up front for this one for me. I'm enjoying what I'm seeing with that left-hand side. Some lovely interchange between Emerson and Paqueta there. That was a sort of mixture between the two. That's a third one. There's three of them. Cheeky. 3 Brazilians. I haven't had 3 Brazilians since, and that doesn't matter actually, does it? So I think that, absolutely. I think they might have a really lovely exchange down that left-hand side. I want to keep that going because I think it's a big threat for us. Again, these players, particularly those type, they can handle 3 games a week. They've been doing it for a long, long time. Emerson at Chelsea, then he was at Olympique Lyonnais as well. Paqueta, or whatever his name is, he was at Olympique Lyonnais, he was at AC Milan. These people are used to European football. So there will be times to rest them in Europe. I'm not going to do it now. Kudus, I haven't even got to make the case. No. Let's see him. I think it's an immediate rest for Jared Bowen, which I think is important. Let's deal with it now rather than later on in the season. Let's not get to January and then have a look and think, oh my word, Bowen's done more minutes than anyone else. Let's deal with it now. We've got a really good squad. Let's make that not the case. And I think there's enough strength in that team now with the players that I've mentioned, the senior players and Ward-Prowse in there and Souček in there as well and Ogbonna. There's enough there and there's enough absolute quality around the rest of the team that you can play Mubama there. So look, you don't worry about the rest. We got it covered, right? We're going to get up there and we're going to support you. Let's see what he can do for exactly the same reason that you said about Thilo Kehrer. Let's give ourselves an option by if you're putting Kehrer midfield, I'm putting right back. Let's give ourselves an option. Let's find out about him. Let's give ourselves something else as an option rather than Danny Ings or Jared Bowen playing centrally. Let's give ourselves something else. And let's give Mubama a good, I was going to say a good 65 minutes. If he scores, he can have 90 minutes, quite frankly, right? But let's give him a real good chunk of the game with brilliant players like Kudus and Paqueta around him and Fornals in there and Ward-Prowse. Let's give him a real good go. That's what I would do.
Bowen on the right for me, Ben Rama on the left, and Mubama up front as well. I know what's going to happen. He's going to play Ings up front on Thursday, or he'll put Antonio in from the start and then sub Ings on. And I don't want to see it. I want to see Mubama because I know we've got Lincoln coming up next week, which I think you might. But again, he will still start Ings in that game ahead of Mubama. I'm quite confident because he'll feel obliged to give his senior striker minutes ahead of the youngster. So when are we going to use him? What other opportunities are there between now and January? Because at the minute, West Ham may or may not be thinking we need to sign a striker. We need to sign. We tried to in the last few days a transfer window for 20 million from Brazil. We didn't get it done. You've got to give Mubama a crack at some point because what happens if actually he is the answer? It saves us 30 million in the transfer window. It's like what Brighton have done with Evan Ferguson. They were able to then, actually, we don't need to go get an out-and-out striker. Now we've got him. He's there. So let's go spend the money elsewhere. Let's go get João Pedro in to play behind Ferguson and can replace Ferguson if need to be. The amount of money West Ham could save if Mubama is good enough, and there's not that many opportunities. I understand why it's difficult to play a youngster in the Premier League. I completely get it. It's a very unforgiving thing that you lose 5 games as a manager, you're probably getting sacked. I'm not saying Mubama would cost Moyes his job, but I get why Moyes is reluctant or hesitant to play youngsters or many youngsters all the time. But when it comes to games like this, I think, hang on a minute, now's your opportunity. I get it, Anfield, I get why you won't play Mubama. But I'm sorry, but at home to a team that we should be winning on Thursday night, you've got to put him in. You've got to give him a fair crack because, like you said, imagine he scores something. At the weekend, he wasn't on the bench. I know we had under 21 game against Celtic the night before, but we deserve to give him a chance. Otherwise, he'll eventually want to leave. We've lost too many youngsters recently at West Ham, and it's not David Moyes' fault that the under-21s, when they're 16 years old, they're going to Man City. I don't blame Moyes for that, okay? No. I don't. But if we lose our 18-year-old because he's not been given first-team football, well, that is on the manager, okay? Mobama would be. We can't afford to lose him, because could you imagine how sick it would be to see him go somewhere else and actually he's good enough for the Premier League? Bowen, I want a strong team. I want to win this game. I think Bowen gives us the best chance. And Ben Rama needs to get his confidence back. He's been poor so far this season. Probably doesn't deserve to start on Thursday night. There's probably one or two others that deserves to start ahead of him. But I don't want to get into the situation. Let's call it Ben Johnsonitis, which is he's out of form. Let's just leave him. Let's just forget about him and not give him an opportunity to build that form back up. And I think this is a good one for Saeed Benrahma to do something and start to get himself back into form. Interestingly, I mean, you've left out Benrahma, I've left out for now, so we're going to ignore them because we've each included them. We've both left out Ben Johnson and Maxwell Cornet, though.
Yeah.
And Danny Ings, but I think those reasons are self-explained. Yeah, we've explained those.
But... We've done Danny Ings to death, haven't we? But I think it's now. Bearing in mind we have both done that. We can't really criticise the manager for doing it, can we? When he leaves out.
Well, actually, what I will say is that I'm probably leaving them out as a result of their management thus far, which is Ben Johnson felt ruined by the end of last season, so that's why I don't really want to put him in. And Cornet, I've not seen anything from him to suggest that he should start. I'd certainly have them both on the bench, and in an ideal world, they'd both get on the pitch, but at the moment, they don't feel like options.
I think it's so hard to get into David Moyes' team. Once you're one of his favourites, he's sort of in. And we're seeing it with Benrahma now. I'd suggest it took 18 months for Benrahma to win David Moyes' trust. Now he's got it. Now you're your go-to guy. He really is. You'd even suggest that Benrahma is ahead of Kudus at the moment, as far as David Moyes is concerned. And you don't get that many of those opportunities. And even if you impress in Europe, as Flynn Downs did, back-to-back man of the matches in Europe, you still might not impress him overly. And I think Ben Johnson probably knows where he stands, and that is he's only at West Ham now because he is homegrown and he's from the academy. And that's the situation. That's the only reason his manager is keeping him in there. And it pains me to say that because I do think he's also been mismanaged. And he's been a victim of his own versatility. And actually, I like him. I think he's a good guy and he's a good lad. And it's a shame because he was being groomed with the broom, funny enough, to take over from Mark Noble as I'm going to say it as the conscience of West Ham. To run through that academy product who understands what it means. And if you don't know, I'm talking about the broom. If you don't know, Mark Noble used to have a tradition of when we'd go away from home, Mark Noble would sweep up the opposition the opposition dressing room, so as the cleaning staff didn't have to do it, and he put it all in a pile. And it was just a respectful thing to do. And in the days when apprentices don't clean football boots and things like that, it was just an important tradition of West Ham which had been passed on to Ben Johnson. I know it's not much. I'm not saying he should be in the team, but I'm just saying it's a shame that it's gone to that. But Ben Johnson isn't good enough to get into the team anymore, and I think the only reason he is being kept around is because he's come through the academy and he's ticking a box. I think that's it really. Cornet, I think you've got a different situation. Geo, I think Moyes probably feels Cornet has let him down. And I think that's probably, and the reason being, I'm going to assume 80% you know, and 20% that don't. He had a calf injury. As we understand it, he chose not to use the club's doctors and he went to France. And this calf injury, which should have been something that was relatively simple, and sort of looking at about a 5-week recuperation, turned into 5 months that he wasn't for the team. And I think if there's one person you don't want to lose faith in you, it's probably David Moyes, and I'm not sure Cornet can win that faith back with substitute appearances in Europe. It's a shame because I think he might actually be, if everything was going well, actually our second best option as a replacement striker and someone that could fill in on either wing. But I just don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I echo everything Gonzo said, really. Just before we get on to are we confident, that old question, just want to point you in the direction of the Hammers Chat Patreon. If you want more Hammers Chat videos, if you've not already had enough and you want more, or you simply want to support the channel, you can do it from £3.60 per month, so less than £1 a week, and you'll get more videos, including the player ratings, our podcast where we don't even discuss football. I know you're thinking, why would you do that? Patrons asked for it and we've delivered it. Hey, don't say we don't listen to feedback. Got Hammerlytics over there. If you've enjoyed the recent video with Charlie and Jack explaining why West Ham start's been so impressive in the Premier League, Jack does that on a week-by-week basis on each single game, breaking down the most recent game with a look ahead to the upcoming fixture as well. There's plenty of videos over there. You can go to patreon.com/hammerschat. And we're running a free trial on the Mild Addicts tier. Now, to be clear, it's for that tier only, but it does state that when you click on it. You get a 7-day free trial, so you can enjoy all the videos for free, and then at the end of that week decide whether you want to stick with us or actually it's a bit crap, you don't fancy it, but give it a go. Patreon.com/hammerchat, links in description. A massive thank you to anybody who goes over there and supports the channel, which allows us to keep uploading these videos on YouTube for free, one a day per channel. Well, we do our best to do that anyway. Depends on what news there is kicking around. Even when there's no news, we're still somehow
we have a go.
we do something.
We make some up. We don't really.
No, we don't. And we leave that to other people. Yeah. Are you confident?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, confident and happy and looking forward to it, definitely.
What makes you confident?
I think we've got a good team. I think we've got some excellent players. I think we're stronger than last season, which is certainly in terms of depth. There was a necessity last season to play certain players. All to say, you had to play Declan Rice, you had to play Zuma in games that mattered, and a lot of the games did matter. To get through the group matters. You know, we got that. We can take somebody out now, and it's fine. We can take out a centre back, and there's another really good one to go in there. We got options wide. Bowen you possibly couldn't rest Bowen last season. Now we can. And you can say that for almost all of the players. We're in a slightly different situation with the striker. There's genuine depth there. And the people that are coming in, be it Ogbonna, be it Kudus, whoever, take your pick, are international players that are coming in now. And we have this added threat now, which we're back on it. The set pieces, we're back on it. Don't concede a set piece against West Ham, whoever you are, because you're going to be in trouble. You know, we're going to threaten your goal. I'm not saying we score every week, but we are going to threaten your goal. And that's really something. So, yeah, I'm pretty damn confident, mate.
I'm confident as well. Like I said, on paper, they look quite good being top of the league, but when you dive a little bit deeper into their results, including against Sporting Braga, it's put my confidence up a little bit. We are a damn good team. We've handled these fixtures for the last 2 years now. We've handled these fixtures well. It's been professional performances. You heard it all the time, usually attributed to Man United back in their prime, Liverpool, etc. But actually, West Ham now are a professional club when it comes to European football, where we rock up. It's not necessarily the most entertaining football. It can be a little bit slow, but we win 2-0. The keeper's not under that much pressure. There was plenty of games last season when we did our player ratings. Pitch and show, where we did our player ratings in the group stage, we'd be giving Ariola 6, and basically it was, we're giving him 6. He didn't have much to do, and that is how good we were in European football. Yep. Our keeper wasn't that tested in the group stages. And then when you talk about the players you bring in, our bench, 12 players on the bench on Thursday night, will be full of internationals as well. Now, we're not both leaving them out, but on that bench, we will probably have the likes of Paqueta, Antonio, possibly Fornals or Benrahma. Kudus might be on the bench on Thursday. Moyes might not start him. We're going to have serious talent on there. And Moyes showed last season that come the hour mark, if it ain't working, he's making changes. The amount of times we've seen, I remember that game away, I can't remember who we were playing, was it Larnaca we were playing? He brought on Rice, Paqueta and Scamacca. Triple substitution, bang. And then Paqueta chipped it over and Scamacca scored. And he's like, wow, there you go. That's how good we are. Things aren't going well. He pushes the big red button and the internationals come on. We'll have the same on Thursday night. We'll have players sat there ready to come on. If it's not going well, they on the pitch. And sometimes, to be fair, there was games last season, we were 2-0 up and cruising. He'd still bring on Paqueta for the last 10 minutes. So I was like, go out and stretch your legs and have a little bit of fun, Lucas. And we might see that on Thursday. I'm really looking forward to this game, Gonzo. Really, really looking forward to it. Can I get any final words and your all-in score prediction, please?
Yeah, just really, really looking forward to it. Gutted, just the way the calendar's worked out. Not going to be able to get up there for this one, but I'm looking forward to getting up to some European nights this year. Is going to be great. And you're absolutely right, Joe. It's been a great addition to the West Ham calendar, and to have these other games really does give you something else to get your teeth into. And David Moyes takes these things seriously. I know it's easy to say now, bear in mind we've won it, but we were saying it before anyway. There's one game away to Everton in one of the cups that he didn't take seriously. Aside from that, David Moyes goes for these competitions. He'll go for it in the Haribo Cup as well, and he'll go for it in the FA Cup. So I'm looking forward to it. It's nice. You know what? It might not win any. It's nice to have scratched that itch and won a trophy. That's great. But I tell you what, we're gonna go for it. And all right, and for David Moyes' counter-attacking style, we'll go for it. But we'll be going to win these trophies, and make no mistake about it. I think this is really key and really important. They say that winning is a habit. And I'm sure I wouldn't know, but I've got good authority. It is. What I am quite sure of is that winning is addictive. And David Moyes, I feel, has validated his managerial career with that trophy. I think he was lacking a trophy, and now he's got one, and he's going to really like that. And it would just be, I know what these people are like: sporting people, competitive people. I'm telling you, Gio, you can't play Monopoly with these people. You honestly, you can't play blackjack. These people, competitive people, are a nightmare. They're a nightmare. You play table tennis with them, you might win a game. I'll have one more. What do you know what I mean? You might win best out of 3. I'll say best out of 5. People that are like that are just competitive. They're greedy. That's why they're good. And David Moyes will absolutely be one of those people. That's why he's made it at the top level of sport as a player and as a manager. And he'll be thinking, oh, another one of them. Do you know what? He will. He'll be thinking about it. I want the Europa trophy and I want the Conference League trophy. And that's how he's going to be thinking about it. And because of that, he's going to go for it. And the journey will take us where the journey takes us. A scoreline, hard to say. I mean, they won. It's really mishmash, bearing in mind what you said about Braga and about everything else. They won 6-3. In their last game, but as you say, the context is that they were down the bottom of the league. I think
the team, I could be wrong about this, just off the top of my head. I think the team that beat the weekend may be second bottom of the league.
Yeah, and they still put 3 goals past them. We're at home. David Moyes goes, even if we are playing the dog and duck, right? Well, you'd play the dog and duck, would you, if you're in European competition? The French would be le dog and duck. Actually, I don't even know. I think it's. I'm not even going to test me French because I don't know what duck means. But anyway, my point is, David Moyes goes cautious, even if he's playing a crap team away from home in Europe. At home, he goes for it 4-0.
Ooh, I like that. That's a bold prediction. I'm not going to go as big as that. I think it'll be a comfortable win for us. I'm going to say 2-0 West Ham, but I think it's going to be as comfortable as you see. Fabianski. On player ratings on Monday, I think we'll be giving Fabianski a 6 out of 10 because he didn't have much to do. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to
Le Chien and Canard. I think is what we get. That's the boozer. If you're drinking that boozer in France, we're coming for you.
Have you got French for? Thanks for tuning in. If you've enjoyed it, drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new to Hammers Chat.
Mercy buttocks. I think we'll just go for mercy buttocks.